It's Saturday, February 7th, 2026. It's the 38th day of the year, and we've got a lot to talk about. A life-threatening Arctic blast is gripping the eastern U.S. with some of the coldest air in years, and temperatures across the plains are actually surging to 40 degrees above normal as a dramatic pattern flip takes hold. Plus, there's a big storm signal on the way. We've got wind chills plunging to 30 below zero in New England. 10 to 20 degrees below zero out there in DC and Philadelphia. This is some of the coldest air that we've seen so far this year. It's going to get bad again tonight into tomorrow morning. So get ready for those surface temperatures to dip below zero without the wind chill. But with these strong winds that are coming in, we could be talking about 20-30 degrees below zero. Again, this is life-threatening cold. Sunday could actually bring about record low temperatures in the mid-Atlantic region with highs running 20 to 30 degrees below normal. But I'm talking a lot about this cold over here. But do you see that big resurgence of yellow in the middle? That is the big pattern flip that's on the way. Yeah, you heard that right. We've got a whole pattern flip on the way. The greens and purples on the East Coast represent our departure from normal. So in some cases, over the past couple of days, we've been 20-30 degrees below average with our temperatures. But look out west. You see all the reds and the browns starting to blossom up during the daylight heating hours. Those are above average temperatures. In fact, some places like Topeka, Kansas over the next couple of days could be up to 42 degrees above average. That's going to feel like a heat wave. We're talking about places like Des Moines reaching 70 degrees on Monday, and the average high there this time of year is 32 degrees. That's nearly double the normal temperature. So it's really going to feel wild, especially after all this cold that we've been having. This is a rare winter pattern, and we expect it to continue for some time. Here's the latest from the Climate Prediction Center. We've got a 6 to 10 day outlook that paints the vast majority of the lower 48 under that above normal category, much above normal from Dallas and Houston all the way up to Sioux Falls and Minneapolis. You can see that we are starting to see some below average temperatures work into the West Coast though, and I think that this whole situation is going to continue to move east, and that boundary in the middle is going to set the stage for storms. There's going to be an increased period of active weather as we go into the future, specifically around Valentine's Day pointing toward the end of the month. I think that we have several chances of both snow and potentially severe weather. Let's go ahead and talk about the weather patterns going well into the future. You can see that that cold air is going to be hanging on for dear life up here in the north and east all the way through Sunday. It's going to be cold, cold, cold. But notice these red lines here. This ridge that's building up in the west and then the central U.S., this is that warm air propagating over the Rockies into the plains up into the upper Midwest, over through the mid-Mississippi River Valley, the Ohio Valley, the Tennessee Valley. Every valley is going to get in on this nice weather, and we're all going to love it. It's going to be the Great Thaw. We're going to look back at this, and we're going to call it the Great Thaw of 2026. But it comes with a price. All of this warm, unstable air is going to clash with the natural cold air of winter that's trying to come back down here. And this is going to lead to several chances of rain and thunderstorms. We've got a general chance of some isolated showers from Dallas all the way up to Nashville on Wednesday, February 11th. But notice how the frequency of these chances of rain kind of increase as we go forward. This is the thing that's getting my attention mostly right now, is this larger storm signal right around Valentine's Day. Here we are on Saturday, February 14th around 1 a.m. A big-time low-pressure system sweeps over the Rockies, forms up over the plains, and potentially causes a severe weather problem on the southeast side and a very heavy snow situation on the north side. This is a classic late winter into spring pattern that we've got to keep an eye on. This is a big signal for a storm here, so almost certain that something's going to be happening during this time frame. What does it look like? Who knows? But this is what we're tracking now as we look over 170 hours into the future. Anything beyond this is going to be absolute garbage in terms of its realistic capability of becoming something that actually happens. But let's take a look at it anyways. The main thing that I want to show you is just the pattern. You can see that we're going to start seeing more atmospheric rivers over here on the west coast. The next big one looks to be coming in potentially right around Valentine's Day, slamming the west coast with heavy rain and heavy snow up in the higher elevations. And then that's going to carry over the Rockies once again. And we're just going to see these persistent bowling ball troughs move across the country, interact with the warm air that's trying to build up, and obviously interact with the natural cold air that's trying to be in place and cause storm systems. We're going to see several rounds of severe weather, heavy rain, flash flooding looks to be something that we're going to have to worry about, and snow over the next several weeks. And this pattern continues well into February. In fact, the GFS here rounds out at the end of February, trying to lock us back into that deep cold pattern. But once again, it's hard telling what's going to happen after 100 hours on these models. What we're looking at here is just signals and potential ideas for what the pattern could look like going forward. I do think we're going to come out of this pattern that we've been locked into, and that transition is going to lead to more active weather. If you're in favor of the warmer temperatures, then rejoice, because looking even farther into the future, all signs are pointing toward this pattern really trying to stick with us. As far as warm temperatures go, 8 to 14 days out, we're still talking about above average temperatures for the vast majority of the lower 48, especially east of the Rockies. But even in Santa Fe, Denver, up there into portions of Wyoming and Montana, we're staying above average all the way through the next 2 weeks. Below average temperatures do kind of expand a little bit out west, but look at this. Even if we go all the way to the 3 to 4 week outlook, we're still above average in the south. From Miami to Phoenix, from Denver to Columbus, from Raleigh to Oklahoma City, we are going to continue to be thawing out for the foreseeable future. The contrast between what's happening right now and what's coming is absolutely staggering. While some areas are experiencing life-threatening cold with wind chills of 30 below zero, other areas are preparing for temperatures that could reach 40 degrees above normal. This kind of extreme weather whiplash is becoming the signature of winter 2026. We've gone from historic ice storms to record snowfall in the southeast to frigid Arctic blasts, and now we're about to experience what could be one of the most dramatic warming trends in recent memory. The jet stream configuration that's creating this pattern flip is going to have lasting impacts on the rest of the winter season. When we see these kinds of dramatic shifts, it often signals that we're transitioning from one weather regime to another. What makes this particularly interesting is the timing. February is typically one of the coldest months of the year, yet we're looking at the possibility of record-breaking warmth across large portions of the country. This could have significant implications for everything from energy costs to agriculture to outdoor activities. The storm signal that's developing around Valentine's Day is particularly concerning because it's forming during this transition period. When you have such extreme temperature contrasts colliding, you get the perfect recipe for explosive storm development. For those currently dealing with the life-threatening cold, relief is on the way, but that relief is going to come in the form of such a dramatic temperature swing that it might create its own set of challenges. For those in areas that are about to experience the record warmth, don't get too comfortable. These patterns are inherently unstable, and what goes up can come down just as quickly. The economic implications of this pattern flip are enormous. Energy demand is going to fluctuate wildly as regions go from heating emergencies to air conditioning needs in a matter of days. Transportation networks are going to face challenges adapting to rapidly changing conditions. This is the kind of weather pattern that gets studied for years to come. The winter of 2026 is already proving to be one of the most memorable in recent history, and this pattern flip might be the most dramatic chapter yet. I know we got the Super Bowl tomorrow. A lot of people are asking about that. It's looking pretty boring, honestly, the weather. So we're going to have a high near 67 degrees with a very slight chance of showers from the Pacific system that's coming in. But I think that for the most part, we're going to be just fine up there. Thank you guys for watching. Make sure you hit that like button and subscribe if you haven't already. This pattern flip is going to be one for the history books, so stay tuned as we track these incredible changes. I'll see you in the next one.